Hello, my friends. We have some really fun ones today. Maybe one of my favorite lessons or projects I've ever done. And you guys want to see it? Dun, 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 dun. So cute. I think I'm going to maybe send it to my mom for Mother's Day. But yeah, it's a collage, right? So all these different pieces. So fun. So we need 2 pieces of paper. We need our watercolors and a pencil. And I did use one colored pencil really quick towards the end. So if you want to grab those, you'll be prepared for that too. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, my friends, let's do this awesome Tracy English vase, right? So this is going to be a collage. So like I mentioned before, so this is the first one of our papers, excuse me. And let me just grab my pencil. And the layout for this, we're really just going to try and maximize, which is a big word for try and get the most out of our paper. It doesn't really matter how we lay them out because we're just going to cut it out anyway, right? So we are going to start with our paper portrait, or excuse me, landscape, just like this. And we are going to draw our vase, which is actually going to look a little more like a mug. All right, so I have my pencil and I'm going to make my mug, which has a straight line for the top, sides that come ever so slightly closer together, and then a flat bottom, right? And then I need to draw a handle. I'm going to just draw it on there, but I'm actually going to show you we're going to make it really easy on ourselves to cut it out. So I'm just going to make a handle just kind of like that, like a soft-sided rectangle. Sort of, right? That fits right onto the mug. All right, now that is done for now. Above it, we are going to draw a series of circles, and we want them to be, let's see, I'm going to draw a few that are the same size, okay, or pretty close. And then I'm going to draw a few more that are a little smaller. Just like that. All right, and then over here, I am going to draw these big kind of, maybe not all the way down. I want a little far because I want to use that space. I'm going to draw these kind of leaf shapes, and I'm going to try and fit in as many as I can, right? So it's okay if they almost touch. And I'm going to do a few of them pretty close in size, right? I'm even going to use this little space here too. Just let them almost touch. I don't want to waste any of my paper. That one can be kind of tucked behind somewhere, right? You probably are going to guess what I'm going to say. Let's fit a couple over here, right? We're really filling up your page, so be creative here. Wherever you have space, we want to try and get as many of these leaves as we can. Even a couple small ones in here, see? I can fit one there, and I can definitely fit another one there. You could probably even fit one more. Well, let's do it. Look at that. I'm just going to bring that one all the way down. All right, so we have our basic shapes now. Now we're going to add some detail to them before we cut them out, right? So we're going to grab our paints and come right back. All right, so I'm going to start with a pretty big brush, and we're going to put a light coat of paint on our mug. And we're going to start with that first because we're going to come back and do another coat with some detail. So I want to get that painted first. And let it dry. So I'm going to make a really super duper light purple. Really light. And I don't even have to worry really about staying in the lines at all because this is all going to be cut out, right? And I'm just going to put a nice light wash, super light. We don't want to over soak our paper here, okay? Ooh, need a little more water than that though. There we go. Super duper light. Okay, right? And if you have a darker purple, you got to use the top of your paint palette, just like I did, right? Oh, you probably can't see it. It's just out of view. There we go. All right. So I've got it on my main part of my mug, but I'm not going to do the handle because that's going to get more of a rich color. But we're going to do that when we do the rest of the mug. So from here, we're going to wash our brush and we're going to go to our flowers, which are going to be blue. And if you're like, Miss Norton, where are flowers? There are round guys over here. So I'm going to, again, make a nice light blue. And I am just going to fill these in. Now, we're going to turn them into flowers, I promise. I would suggest using that circular pattern, circular motion, when you are painting these in instead of going up and down or back and forth, because we do want to kind of have that same circular feel like a flower has, right? Just like that. That one's got a tiny little bit of purple in it, but that's okay. Just put a little bit of blue right on top. There we are. Okay. Next, we are going to go in with green on our plants. But here's the deal. We don't want it to be too plain. We've gone pretty simple so far. So I'm going to go in with some green, kind of messy, and then I'm going to make a little lime green and go in and kind of fill the spaces between. But as you can see, I'm making all of my lines go up and down, and I'm actually allowing myself to use a little bit of a dry brush here and there to kind of give that texture. All right, so I am just gonna keep rocking and rolling with the rest of these greens, and then we'll come back for the lime green or yellow green together. All right, I have gotten all of my green down, and now I'm actually gonna use a smaller brush. Again, if you only have one size brush, you can totally use it. We're not doing any teeny tiny details, so use what you got. But since I have a smaller one and I don't want to blend these too much, I'm gonna use it. So I'm just gonna grab some green and grab some yellow. I really got to wake these up. These are a brand new palette. All right, getting there. I think I'm going to go for just a little more yellow. But I'm using the smaller brush because I'm really just going to go around to the areas that don't already have green. Like I said, I don't want to do a whole lot of mixing here. I kind of want to just fill it in. And I mean, I'll do some, but not a whole lot. Right? We want different tones in the green. We don't want it to all be one shade of green because there's so many pretty greens, right? In nature. That didn't go very far, so I'm going to have to make some more. And we're just going to keep filling them in. All right, so I've gotten all my green, and now I'm going to go back in and we're going to start adding some details on this awesome vase right here. So I'm going to take, right now, I'm going to make myself kind of a reddish purple. I don't want super duper kind of true purple. I want it to be a little softer. So I'm just going to kind of mix these two. But again, you can use whatever color you want. You don't even have to use this color at all. But I'm going to stick again with a smaller brush. And we're going to do some details. A smaller, rounder tipped brush is much better for this step. And we're going to start making the little face here. So let's make the eyebrow, which is going to kind of come across. Go down to make a nose, over, and then same thing on the other side. Just like that. All right, I'm just going to go over that one more time just to give a little thickness to it. Carefully rest my hand. There we go. It's okay if it looks a little messy, right? All right, get a little more paint and we're going to make her little closed eyes. So just a couple little smiley face lines, right? And a few little downward eyelashes. Just like that. All right, classic mouth, big mountains. And then I like to make the little bottoms extend so it makes it look like She's smiling. Fill the little lips in. All using the same color here. Right. Then I'm going to take that color and water it down just a little bit, and I'm going to give her some little kind of rosy little cheeks. Okay, just ever so slightly lighter. I'm going to need to make just a little bit more of that color because we're going to make some kind of bangs, if you will, hair. Okay, there we go. It's pretty close. I might need a little more purple. All right. It's close. There we are. All right. I am going to do some kind of little sweeping kind of hairlines. And some of them can overlap a little, right? But still having some space between because we're actually going to put some blue in there. I'm also going to go across the top here. Just like that. And I'm going to do some nice stripes on the handle. Again, don't worry about going outside your lines because we are going to cut these out. Turn your page as you need to, just like that. All right. Now, I am going to do another quick coat of blue on our blue flowers. Basically the same thing, but I just don't want it to be too perfect, right? So I'm going to actually go back to my slightly bigger brush. And what we're doing is we're letting these lines dry because we are going to go back in with some blue. And kind of go between them. But do you see what I mean? I had my base coat, and now I'm going to just come in a little bit messy and give them a little texture. That one got very blue, but that's okay. All right, just like that. I have one little drip here. I'm going to let that dry a little bit. But I am going to take my blue on my small brush and we can start on our handle because my handle's pretty dry. For whatever reason, that is very wet right there. So I am not going to start there. I'm going to be very careful where it attaches, but then around this, I'm going to be pretty liberal and just put it on there. It's okay if some overlaps, some doesn't. Not trying to make it too perfect, right? If a little bit of white shows, that's cool. No big deal. All right. I'm going to go back in here. I think it'll be fine now. Again, some of them overlap, some of them don't. Just like that. All right, we're gonna let this dry, have a snack or something like that, and then we will come back. All right, my vase is almost dry and I'm almost ready to cut, but I need to put something on my background so we don't just put it on a white piece of paper. And I suggest like a brownish, orangey, yellowy. I'm just gonna use what was in the top of my watercolor palette here. And I'm using the biggest brush I have, and I am just going to make nice even strokes. I got it. This brush tends to shed, so I'll get that hair off. Really super duper light color, just so that it's not white. Okay? We're gonna fill this whole thing in and then we'll be ready to cut. All right, my friends, I have my background. I have my little cute cup, my scissors, my glue. We are ready to do this. I'm gonna put my background just over to the side. And really, this is so simple. We're just going to cut everything out the best we can. The one thing I will show you, first and foremost, is we're just going to cut our mug handle right off our mug. And you know what that's going to make it so easy for us to do? Cut this little piece out. Otherwise, it would have been so tricky. And we're going to placed them all back together anyway, so why make it harder on ourselves? So I also like to work in smaller sections. So I'm just gonna like kind of cut these down. This one's not even perfect yet, but it's just gonna kind of go off to the side, and then I'll work with this. Also, don't forget to make a stack while you're cutting of your scraps and of your pieces that you're gonna use, because we're gonna have a lot of little pieces. We don't want them all over the place. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out, and then we will come back together. All right, my friends, we have everything cut out, but you're probably wondering how on earth we're gonna turn these circles into something that looks like a flower. And I am going to show you. So we are going to take, you can either take another shade of blue, or you could certainly use black, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to use blue colored pencil because I have it. And I'm just going to kind of make a little center in all of them. Just a quick little dot in the middle. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is towards that dot, not all the way, I'm going to cut out little wedges. Okay? And then I'm going to be left with these cute little flowers, right? So I'm just going to do that. We're going to cut little triangles out of all of them, and then we will actually be ready to glue. Okay, my friends, so many little cuts, but they are so, so cute, right? So we are going to now, I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to start forming everything. So we have our cup or vase. We have our handle, right? That's pretty obvious. But then we're going to start just tucking these behind, right? And I even left some of the ends on mine, just mostly being lazy, but you can just tuck them all behind and just stack them up. And we're going to stack them until we kind of like them, and then we can go ahead and pull them out kind of piece by piece and glue them down. But I kind of want to have an idea of what I'm doing before I start gluing, right? Little short ones in front. How cute is that? Now, let's see if I'm going to use, hopefully, all of my flowers that I made. There we are. Might be some of them a little big, but that's okay. They're going to be so pretty. We can even kind of put them off in the back, just like that. There we go. I think I'm going to leave one off, but I really like that one. Maybe he'll replace this guy. There we are. All right. So there we have it. We are going to glue it. You guys know the deal, right? But here is a little trick. So all of these are kind of tucked behind, right? But I still want to like have this down and make it easy for me to see where I'm tucking. So here's a little trick. When I turn this over, I'm only going to put glue on the bottom half, on the skinnier half, right? Because it's narrower down there. Just a little bit of glue. And I'm going to place it so that way that is down, and then I can kind of start filling everything in behind. So now that I know how many flowers I'm going to use, I kind of have an idea where they are. I'm going to take most of those off. This guy can go ahead and go down. And just a little bit of glue. Dot, dot, not a lot, right? I like to just kind of trace the shape that I'm gluing. All right, I'm going to leave my handle for the end when everything's pushed down and perfect, right? Just like I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and gently squeeze that one out and put down a couple little lines of glue. And then I'm just going to carefully kind of tuck it back down in there and gently press it, right? And then I'm just going to work next to him, kind of gently pick that piece up. That one only gets like one line of glue. It's a pretty skinny one. All right, and it gets placed. Those guys can go hang out. All right, this one needs to move. He's in the way. All right, but just pull them out piece by piece. That's the trick here, so that you kind of know what it's going to look like when you're all done. Because you've already placed them, you know what it looked like, you liked it. If we just kind of started sticking them in everywhere, we wouldn't necessarily have any sort of placement that we liked, because it would just be so random. There we are. So I did my back layer of plants here. There we go. I'm going to move that guy. I kind of like him going a little bit the other way. There we are. Okay, now these front ones go on. There we go. He didn't want to go where I wanted him. I think I might put that one towards the middle. There's that other one. Leave it how it was. There we go. We have this one. Right, kind of coming up. And then our little short one here. That one when I was like, I wonder if I can fit that last one. But look at how perfect. He's like a little one there. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and lift this back like this and glue, and we'll glue on our flowers and then our handle, and we'll see it all done at the end. All right, my friends, this is our cute little pot all finished. If you wanted to, you could do a little shadow underneath, but Tracy English didn't, so I'm going to leave it as is. I absolutely love how this turned out. I think I might send this to my own mom for Mother's Day. But I hope you enjoyed it too, and I will see you next time.